video. In today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which Angola forms an empire. So Angola will be forming an empire today, guys. Hope you had a great day so far. And hope it got even better when you turned on this video. Hopefully that's true. But I never know. And yeah, so their first move, as you can tell, is to invade Zambia. Why would they invade poor old Zambia? Because they want to. Why would they want to do that? That's mean, you may be saying. Well, kinda yes. Is technically true. And so they move into Zambia, as they are one of the strongest nations. They quickly march into Zambia, as I think they're one of the stronger nations in Africa. And yeah. And well, quickly, half of Zambia falls. How does it fall so fast? I don't even know. Would it fall this fast? Probably not. Would it fall this fast? Definitely not. But would the movements be similar? Probably. And this is like a full front line fighting. Usually fights aren't held on a full front line, but sometimes they are held a big front line. You can fight a war on a small front line too. And you can fight it without really a front line, but spearheads, like the Russo-Ukrainian War began. But now it's much more front line, as they annex all of Zambia, destroying the borders of Africa. They're still not done destroying borders of Africa, as they invade Malawi. Why would they invade Malawi? Poor old Malawi. Well, I guess that is true. But do empires care who they invade? No. One minute they're friendly to other nations, the next minute they're invading them. So the key is never trust an empire. Because the minute you trust the empire is the minute they invade you. And that's how you keep independent. You just never trust nobody not to invade you. You plan for the strong nations to invade you, and then you plan for the weak ones to invade you. Because you never know who wants to take you over. Well, you can sometimes predict who will and won't, but you can't predict forever. And you can't keep a plan for long, because that needs to change. As the Angolan Empire is really strong. They go after Zimbabwe. Why do they do that? Because they can. And their empire looks like what Portugal wanted to get, minus Mozambique, from the partition of Africa, or the Berlin Conference. They stopped claiming all of Africa, I guess. They couldn't. But imagine if Portugal did get all of Africa. Would it be the same? Would they had a stronghold on it? Would other Europeans allow it? Or would they invade together to stop it? Who even knows? With a Portuguese nation forming an empire, not that far out of reality. And then they invade Mozambique. Okay. I guess Portugal wishes this is what they got from the conference. And they could have gave away their other places they got in Africa. I think there's one other they got. No, not there. I'm not sure which one it was. And while Mozambique collapses, and while Angola has access to 2 seas, South Africa forms an alliance with Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, and Eswatini. Yep, they do. But it's actually secret, so nobody knows about it. As they march into Namibia, they're like, nothing bad could possibly happen, as they storm into the nation. And then they wonder why there's a bunch of troops on their border. And then they say, an attack on one is an attack on all, as the South African Pact is united together. Well, they kinda are, but will they stay that way? With the Mozambique lands basically falling, with Botswana making a small advance. And they meet up with South Africa's advance. But the problem is that they get invaded through the north, basically, along with Namibia. Which, it's so foggy on Namibia's coast, the troops keep getting disoriented. I think this is a foggy coast. But then they find the diamonds and are happy, I guess. With a southward push, a strong southward push, and a quick failure of this campaign as South Africa was moving troops, they quickly got swept out within days. That's why I did what I just did. I colored it in right away. And well, quickly the Mozambique Empire realizes its chances at victory are now pretty small. No, not Mozambique. But the South Africans realize they can't win this. And so does Lesotho. So they meet together and say, what shall we do about this? We have no way of winning. And they both agree, let's sign peace. Further north, they don't really meet Madagascar, but they decide to start to move their northern campaign. They're going to invade Madagascar. But there's a secret pact that even I didn't know about until now. As all of these nations flood in, and the Angolan Empire is like, great, more land. But they forget one thing. They're not ready for this war. As they get swept down south until some forces can try and resist it. Eventually they manage to. Here they get pushed pretty far. And then they resist it. And then in the north they get pushed very far into Mozambique before they can resist. But at this point they land in Madagascar with their amphibious landings. Going pretty well, actually. And now they do one more just cuz, but now they can just send forces in, which is much easier logistically than an amphibious landing. As well, they turn all their troops north. Their first plan, which is proposed by the generals, is to invade there first. But then to invade this area. But they decide to invade this area as this area has more valuable land. Well, that's my knowledge. I think there's a lot of resources in the Dr. Congo area in the south. It's also, I think, a source of problems for the country. So, yeah. With them taking advantage of this plan they're using, which the generals have approved this plan and are going through with it. Why generals? Why am I saying generals? Because when the government tries to do wars, well, it doesn't go as well as when the generals do. So we should keep it to the people who are best at it. It's what I think. Just keep it to the people who are trained in this. And also, don't allow this to happen. We should definitely use peace and leave all the war for wild mappers videos. That's what I think. And you can debate me on that if you want, but I think it's right. With them taking out Uganda. With this being shocking, even the generals didn't expect this. But then again, if you expected this would have never happened. You should always expect the worst. Yep, that's what you should do. So wild mapper, as he says yep again. Surprising how he says yep so much, isn't it? Isn't it just surprising? Well, yeah. He's pretty great. And I guess this video. So now, phase 2 is gone ahead with. Which has a plan to take out the rest of this region in the south. Right? And then they're going to take the capital. And then phase 3 is hopefully able to go ahead, which is also kind of started in phase 2 to a lesser extent, just to take the coast of Republic of Congo And then they move up to both Republic of Congo and Dr. Congo's capitals. Because, yeah, they take Kinshasa and then they take Republic of Congo's capital. With the Dr. Congo being neutralized pretty much, they don't really need a worry. And then they get all the way up and their empire is formed. And then they go to the peace negotiating tables after the Congo surrenders. About keeping its empire together. The empire has expanded rapidly. Now they need to keep their empire together. Which, so far they have what they originally annexed in this video under control, but now they're trying to make sure the other places don't have revolts. Oh yeah, that's good. Yep, and what am I saying is so good, guys? That's not in the video. Well, I'm talking about a jalapeno plant. Well, to make matters bad, almost died, but then came back to life. Yep. Well, it's coming back to life, hopefully. Maybe I should make a post of that plant. So you guys can see what I'm talking about by coming back to life. Or not, because it's not looking so good. Maybe, yeah. Let's just see. So the empire is pretty good after that tangent. Now let's get back to the empire. So the empire is getting pretty big. Pretty stable too. And Angola is a world power now. They're strongest in Africa. Probably the 4th, 5th strongest in the world. Which is pretty good. They took Britain's spot. How is Britain the 5th strongest nation in the world? I don't even know. But that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe. Why subscribe? We are 97 subscribers away by 400 subscribers, which is our goal by June 1st. So if you could, please subscribe. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out.